Hey guys, today I wanted to make a quick tutorial about how you can make any like grid design you make. You can make it on graph paper or using software, any design. You can use it and you can convert it into something that can be used to do mosaic crochet, which is very cool because this is just a little swatch of some color work using that as the starting point. And there's only 4 ends that you have to weave in, and this is what the back looks like. So it's really cool because it's one of the few techniques where you can have very few ends that you have to weave in, because who likes weaving in ends? So let's get started with how we can make this into something that we can use to make this. So first I just want to define what a column will be. And what a row will be. The rows are from left to right, and then the columns are up and down. So you could say this whole thing's a column, but we're going to define a column a little differently, where a column is just, for example, these two make a column because they're the same color. Once you have this opposing color, this yellow color or white color, depending on your screen, this is another column. And then these 2 blocks make another column. And then here, this one block is a column, these 2 are a column, these 3 are a column, and so on. So that's what a column is. I will even circle, here is a column, here is another column. And now for the rows, just this is the first row, second row, etc. So the first thing you want to do is define your colors for each row. I'm just going to go ahead and add a new row and say that it could be like red row. You could just arbitrarily say this is a red row. So I'm just going to color to show what rows are red. Okay, our rule 1 is every column of cells begins on its own row. So, we can show examples of where this does not happen. So, first I will go ahead and add this additional row of all red. Okay. And now we're gonna look, here's a white row, and here this wouldn't be a red cell beginning, because look, here's our new first red cell that I added below. I already started fixing it, see? Okay, so that's fine. So is this one. Here's another red row, all red starting here, yeah. So, let's see, here, though, here's supposed to be a white row. Let me do this with another color. Here's this row, and if you go along, look, a red column starts on a white row, and this is against the rules right here. Here's another example further down. So let's see, let's give you a white example. So here's a red row, and here is a white block starting on a red row, which is against the rules, just like this red block starting on a white row. Moving on to rule 2. All columns have an odd number of cells. Now, I should have probably made it clear earlier, but a cell is just one block. So that you can see this chart has multiple places, well, not a whole lot. Since we added this row, this now is an odd number of cells, which is pretty awesome, but here we have only 2 red cells, so that's an even number of cells in this column, which is against the rules. Up here there's more, but the outside can easily be fixed by just coloring that. But we still have the same thing we had on the bottom. If you didn't notice, this graph is also symmetric, so any things we find down here, you're also going to find in the other 3 quadrants. So up here we have 2 blocks in a row. No, and then it gets even worse when you realize, look at all of this, 2 blocks, 2 blocks. So this clearly cannot be used for mosaic crochet, but we will use this as a starting point to get to a graph that can be used for mosaic crochet. Alright, here's what you really wanted to see in this video. In the center we've got a lot of problems, so I think when we want to fix this, maybe we should just start with the center piece. I think, so we have these, I like how this is like, this red border starts 1 square above, but to make that work with having these be in odd number, we're gonna have to make this plus sign bigger. Okay, so now if we add that existing border, it should work where we will have this area now that had 2 would have 3, which is good. And let's see, you kind of get a little creative. Let's do the same thing on the other side, because we want to keep it symmetric, of course. Okay, so please don't call me fake for going ahead and drawing some of this out. But you know, you're alternating things right here. Can't change that. First and last row are all red. We'll leave that alone. You see this box, and it ended up being a little bit bigger because I wanted to keep the main design things in this, and I did notice that this bar going this way started on a white row, which we can't have that, so I had to make it start on a red row. I had to make it larger so that instead of having the 2 block column, we have 3 blocks in the rules. That's good. But this design isn't completely done yet because I want to keep, I think this feature in the I think these little corners, I thought that was cute, and so I want to do something similar while staying in the rules. A bar here up, I think. Yeah, so it kind of has a similar look to it on all sides. So you kind of have to take inspo from this, use it as your initial inspiration, like any chart you see that you would like to do in Mosaic, and then you just have to tweak it to fit these 2 rules that we talked about. And then finally, you don't have to, but if you want to just mark where you will do your double crochets, that's pretty simple. Let's see, that's a double crochet, that's a double crochet, so yeah, you just fill that in with the X's marking your double crochets. And there's your chart. Next video, I will explain how you could follow this chart to get this, using the mosaic technique where you don't cut the yarn every row, because we like having no ends to weave in. It does kind of stretch your chart vertically, so you could think about that in your design and do something to make your chart wider if you want it to look more square than this, how it stretches it into more of a long rectangle.